All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. I'm your host, Valerie Lasvardi, and I'm just here doing my thing. And I've got Sandy RV with me today. She has
Mhm.
become my good, Instagram friend,
Right.
right?
Yep.
And we're both coached by Paul Ravella, and Sandy is a bikini pro as well. But I don't want to do too much of the introduction. I want you to introduce yourself to everybody and just a little background, like what do you do? A little bit about your kids, anything that you want to share before we get in.
Sure. So, Sandy Arave, I am a master's bikini pro. I was super fortunate to win my pro card in 2024, and then this was my big pro debut year. Um, I live in California. I am a high school counselor. I've been in education for, oh my gosh, 31 years this year. I work with some
Impressive.
amazing, yeah. It's definitely changed. I started as a teacher and then I taught school for 12 years and then I became a school counselor. And I love what I do. It's great to be able to impact the lives of so many kids over the years. And I have one amazing 20-year-old daughter who is currently a junior at Southern Utah University, and she is an aviation science major. She's becoming a commercial airline pilot. That's her goal.
So amazing. And that's our connection to Utah. Is there more? Is there more? Because I'm from Utah. And
Right.
so is there more of a connection? I'm trying to remember. Do you
To
have
Utah?
family here? Yeah.
No,
No.
nope. She's just there and loves it. She's honestly, she'll never come home to California. Um, since she's left, she's only visited because her program, once she got into the flight program, they make them fly year round. So she's honestly only came home for Christmas. She'll go visit her dad. Her dad's in Arizona, so sometimes she goes there for some of the holidays. So honestly, I have to go to Utah to see my kid nowadays.
No way.
Yeah,
That's wild, but I mean, a California girl who likes Utah. There you go.
she loves it. She's an outdoorsy. She's out there by mountain biking and dirt biking and fishing, and it's crazy. She loves it though. I'm very proud of her. She works very
Yeah.
hard, and she's very humble, and she's just a really great kid. Very fortunate.
That will be so neat to be a commercial airline pilot soon.
Hmm.
Coming up soon.
Yes.
Yes. So love hearing a little bit about you. And we like the focus of this episode today. I want to talk about some of the things that you've overcome in what I know is just within the last year and a half,
Hmm.
2 years, something like
Hmm.
that. But I don't know if there's more to the story or anything like that. But I think this will be very inspiring for people because this is all happening while you are still pursuing your own personal goals and different things like that. So, um, but before we get into those
Hmm.
questions and things, I would love to know what inspired you to get into bodybuilding.
Well, that there lies my entire story.
Ah,
So,
there we go. Let's
yeah.
dive in right then.
So I've always been somebody who's was athletic. I've always had horses. I've been a competitive barrel racer, and all that time I still kept, kind of going to the gym and working out. And then I went through a divorce and kind of kept going to the gym and reconnected with a boyfriend from high school. That story of, like you find the guy that you dated in high school and we both kind of had our lives have kind of changed. And he's the one who said, you should do this. Like, you should compete. I think you would be so good at it. Like, you're already in great shape. And at that time, I was 52. And I'm like, you're crazy. Like, I won't even walk down the beach in my bikini. And you want me to go on a stage in a sparkly bikini and like turn around? Like you're crazy. um, but he was like, honestly, I think you should try it. And at the time, I was working out. I was doing kind of like one of those camp places, you know, where you kind of went in and did the class and did some weights and did some cardio. And my friend Stephanie, who actually trains with me every morning, she owned the camp and she had been a bikini competitor when she was younger. And so I asked her, like, do you even think I could do this? And she's like, you totally could, and I'll help you. So she actually coached me through my first prep and my first competition. And I actually did like surprisingly well. I was shocked. And I
I'm not
felt
shocked because of
I
how good
felt
you've
like
been.
oh, thank you. So I did like a six, you know, I kind of started in January and then I did a muscle contest in May, at the end of May. And so, and I, you know, I said I'm one and done. Like I had no idea. And I still remember sitting in her office and I'm like, what, like, how does this work? And she's like, well, you compete. And then if you do well, you win, you can go to a national show and you can win a pro card. And I was like, I'm doing one and I'm never doing another one. Wow. Once I was hooked, once I went to one, I was so from then I decided, she said, if you really want to do this though, you're gonna have to hire like a real coach. Like I don't do this for a living. So I did. I went ahead and hired another coach and I kept going. And David was like my biggest cheerleader ever. That's what his name was, David. And he encouraged me every step of the way. He sat through every show. He carried my bag. He dealt with my crazy prep dieting and like going to the gym and just all the craziness that we all know that goes with like really getting into like, oh, sorry. Well, there's the cat. um, getting serious because I've always been like a super competitive person. So if I'm gonna do something, like I'm all in. So he was there like every step of the way, like just the biggest supporter and my biggest fan. And 2023, I switched my coaches and I went with Paul. And Paul's just been like a game changer for me, like everything about the way he coaches um and then I was like, I'm going for my pro card. Like David was a huge supporter. He's like, you can do it. I know you can do it. And I was like 3 weeks out from a show in June of last year, literally 3 weeks out. And David was so good. Like, I was doing double cardio. So he helped me go get a treadmill and bring it home. And we were at my house unloading the treadmill from this truck. And he had a stroke.
Oh, goodness.
I walked away for like a minute. And when I came back, he had had a stroke in my garage. And at the time, I didn't know what happened because I had walked away to get a dolly. So I thought he fell or like he grabbed the treadmill and maybe fell backwards and hit his head. Um, and then it just turned into like the most traumatic day like of my life, trying to find your cell phone and call 911. But ultimately, he had had a very large stroke, like deep in his brain, and he passed away.
It's so tragic. I'm so
So tragic, and he's so missed, and he was such a huge part of this whole journey, right? Like he was like, I would have never have started this if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
So literally 2 weeks. This was May 26th, and I'm supposed to be in Sacramento June 8th. And I was like, Paul's like, Sandy, like you tell me what you want to do. Like you just need to let me know where you're at, like what you want to do, and whatever you do is good with me. Like it's good with me. I'll support you. If you want to go, I'll support you. But if you don't, like, don't. But I said I'm gonna go because that's what he would want me to do. He wouldn't want me to quit. Like if I quit, then I felt like I was letting him down. So I did. I left my house at 3 in the morning and drove from Southern California to Sacramento, and I cussed and screamed and cried and blared the music and everything else, and I won. And so then I kind of like said, I'm supposed to keep doing this. Like I'm supposed to keep doing this. Like he's encouraging me, and so I kept going, and it has become the thing that kept me from going into a really dark place. I think I had a purpose to get out of. I mean, I had a lot of purposes, but this this gave me like that like discipline and like that commitment to myself that I think that if I didn't have in losing him, I feel like I could have become really depressed and, maybe stayed in bed and maybe didn't eat healthy and maybe like all the things that can happen during that grief period. I honestly feel like bodybuilding and competing saved me from that.
That it helped you in your healing process.
100%.
And
100%. And every time I show up in that sparkly bikini, like he's there because it was 2 months later. I went to Universe and I did pretty well. And Paul and I decided we're gonna try one more time. But I waited till North Americans because he didn't want to, like, he felt like he was gonna have to run me into the ground, and he refused to do that. So we waited to North Americans, and I know people I'd always hear people talk about like I went and I was super peaceful, like I wasn't nervous and everything about that trip. Like I landed in Pittsburgh and there was like this beautiful rainbow. I checked in and they gave me number 747, which is an airplane, which is like my daughter. And like and I kept telling, like, it was like there was a calm about me that I'd never experienced when I walked on stage like I did there. And I won my pro card. And I dang sure know that he was there, um, helping to make that happen for me.
he is literally the inspiration
Mhm.
behind you and the stage, and
Yep.
it's beautiful. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So I
I'm
said I was going to cry, but
I'm like I'm so sorry um, to have you bring up these all these emotions and things like that just going through that whole experience. It just kind of
but
leaves me speechless, listening to that. It's so beautiful, everything about this.
yeah. And I really think that sometimes in grief, people, forget to take care of themselves, or they think that they can't do certain things anymore because they're used to having that person with them. And trust me, it wasn't easy, but knowing that like he always supported this dream of mine kept me going too, and knowing that like in my mind my thought process was always like I know that he's watching and I know that he's seeing that I'm pushing forward and that would make him proud too. Um, and along the way, I have met the most amazing and inspiring and kind and like disciplined women. And they also have inspired me to keep going. Because I'm 55, like I'm in the best shape of my life, but I step on stage with those other women and I'm like, dang, like all of us are pretty darn amazing that we're over 50 and can rock these, bikinis and like look amazing.
You really do. You look amazing.
Thank
It's
you.
it's so much proof that it's never too late.
Mm-mm. Nope,
Never too late to go after your goals.
never too late.
Um, and just that sweetness of earning your pro card last year and
Uh-huh.
honoring David.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the biggest part. It was like I was sad that he wasn't there because he knew how hard I was pushing for it, but like then again I knew he was there because I'd never had such a calmness over me like that. You know,
Mhm.
and I even had told Paul, I'm like it was just like different. Like I was, normally you're nervous, you're standing there, the girl in front of you goes and you're like running through your head like don't drop your glutes, like don't trip, remember every little move and like I didn't have that. I just walked out there and was like, I'm doing this. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, so it's become a source of empowerment, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
Like
Absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely.
And as you've gone into your pro debut year as well, I mean, you
Yeah.
just finished it up, even
Mm-hmm.
more empowered. Um, Not, and some might say to you, like, oh, why didn't, like, it might have been good for you to take some time away,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know, like, I don't know if you've ever had any of those discussions, if friends or family had said like, oh, we feel like maybe you're not grieving enough or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. Has there been any anybody who said anything like that, or not really? You've had.
No, I've been super fortunate that I've been honest about how I feel like it helps me.
Mhm.
Um, and where I used to do, I was talking with a friend last night. It's like I used to like wear it like it was heavy on me, and now I carry it, the grief, like I would wake up and it would be heavy and I'd be like, I'm gonna get through this. Like I'm gonna go to the gym because this is what he would want. And now I carry it like this is what I want, and like because of him, I'm continuing to do it. And because of him, like I found a passion that I love, and now I do it more because it's really become such a joy in my life. And like I said, the friends I have made are like there's like two women that every single day, and there's actually more, but there's like Rhonda and Mary. Like we literally like, how you doing today? Like, did you PR today? How you feeling? Like every day it's like a check-in because like we know how hard it can be, like to get up and go every day if you don't have somebody like pushing you and cheering you on and just like encouraging it.
I love that. Those friendships, that
Mm-hmm.
accountability. I think that
Mm-hmm.
accountability is huge. And knowing that even though your experience is so much different from your
Mm-hmm.
friends, that you guys have ways that you still can relate and
Yes.
sympathize with each other.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were a huge part of my like recovery and like getting through the grief because like Rhonda, who's also Paul's, and we did our pro debut together. So we won our pro cards with the like she did it at uh Teen Collegiate Masters, I think it was, and then I won it at North Americans, and we made a pact, and we said we will do our pro debut together. Like that's the goal, and so we did all year long. We texted about our building season and our prep. I mean, every single day we held each other accountable. And when she would say, "I don't feel, ugh, I hate my check-in pictures," I was like, "Girl, look at those lines!" Like, and then when I was like, I can't do any more cardio, it's killing me. She's like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And we did St. Pete's together. That was our pro debut. And then I spent a couple days with her in Florida at her amazing home. And we just ate and enjoyed each other's company because for a year, we like texted every single day. And there hasn't been a day that's gone by that we haven't texted each other. Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful. The
Mm-hmm.
camaraderie that comes
Mm-hmm.
out of bodybuilding. A lot of people, I think, when they see it from the outside, it's like, as a competitor, you are competing. You're competing
Yep.
against these women. It's like you're going up against them. But when in reality, when you're backstage, the friendships that you make,
Yeah.
like you said, it's like friends for life. And I feel
Yes.
like oftentimes as women, older women, that we feel that it can be hard to make friends, but there's something about this industry
Yes.
where I don't know. Like, what do you think it is? There's something about this industry where it's very easy to make these really incredible friendships, as you know, and we're all competing. We're all doing this
Right.
thing where it seems like we should be competing against each other, but
Right.
we're really
Well,
cheering each
and
other.
I think that's what's so great about this sport is that we all really know it's us versus us because ultimately I never know who's going to show up. The judge might like me and the judge may not that day,
Mhm.
but we're all standing up there together, like vulnerable and like hoping for the best. And when somebody wins and you don't, you're like, yeah, heck yeah, like super proud of you because I think we're all past that. Like, feel like you have to be better than somebody, like winning makes you better, or, like every single one of those women, like, what is the difference, between one little thing that the judges, 1 point makes the difference, but we're all standing up there and honestly, we're all winners. Like the fact that we
Yes.
show up and do this. And so I think we all understand, like, we're at a stage in our life where we like aren't going to put up with anybody's BS. If you don't want to be nice, then let's move on. And supporting each other's successes is so much fun. Like Rhonda went off and won the Tampa Pro, and it was like I was like at home screaming and jumping up and down, and that I think that's what it's about, right? I want to see you win just as much. If I can't win, I want to see you win. Like go for it.
Yes.
That that's my mentality. Is like somebody's gonna win, and if it's not me, then go girl, it's you.
Yep. We're all doing our best out there, all supporting each other. It really is
Exactly.
such a neat experience. So you brought up your building phase. You're talking about you
Yes.
and Rhonda doing a building
Mhm.
phase. So I want to talk about that. After you won your pro card, what was your feedback from the judges, or like what did you and coach like talk about? Like what was the goal?
So the feedback was just like, build your glutes a little bit, a little denser, um and improve on your posing a little bit, which every I think is always something that you could do.
Always a work in
And
progress. Yes.
right. And so, and I always felt like I've been able to keep like a pretty good balance, but it was time to like step up to that pro stage, right? Like I had to put on a little more muscle. So we made the goal of, when before I won my pro card, I had seen some girls that like had won their pro card, the year before me. And that St. Pete's show came up and I'm like, I want to do that. Like one day I want to do that because I've never been to Florida. So that was the goal. Rhonda and I told Paul from the get go, like, this is our goal to be ready at the end of June. So we spent from August basically until, I don't know, February ish, um, working, building, eating a little bit more, giving myself a little flexibility, learning that you don't have to be perfect. You can go, be social with your friends. That's one thing that I tend to struggle with a little bit. I tend to be a perfectionist in certain things. And so that phase helped me enjoy like letting go a little bit. Um, but I pushed myself hard in the gym. Like I have a 5-day, training program of 3 days lower and a 2 upper. And I'm super fortunate that my friend Stephanie, who coached me to my first competition, she shows up at the gym with me every day, and she works just as hard as I do, and she pushes me. And I was just trying to like put as much muscle on as I could, which we
Yeah,
all know is
right.
slow. So
Yeah.
we went to St. Pete's, feeling pretty good. But my goal was first call outs. Like I just want to be in first call outs because the masters classes aren't always that big. But and I only did the 55. I was like, Paul's like, do the 50. I'm like, no, I'm not doing the 50. Like, let me just do the 55. So I was super fortunate. I won second. Like I was like, second, what the heck? Right behind Paul's other client, Miriam. And
That's
so,
right. Miriam got first and then you got
yeah,
second at that show. Yeah. I
yeah.
remember that picture. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I want to do another one. I gotta do another one. I can't quit there. And so we decided on the Chicago Pro because there's like I had 3 weeks and it was before school started because I was trying to get it in before I went back to work because summer is easy for me to compete. So we pushed pretty hard for 3 weeks. We needed to get like a little bit leaner so he could fill me out a little bit more. So I buckled down big time and we pushed the cardio a little bit and dropped. We came in leaner so he could fill me out better. And I won the Chicago Pro, which was just like a dream come true for me. I was like, I can't believe this is happening right now. Um, and it was awesome. It was just, and I had gone to Chicago in January with 14 teenagers, and it was freezing cold. And I'm like, I want to come back to this city, but I want to come in the summer. So it was like full circle kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And then I spent the weekend in Chicago with a friend and just had a blast. But then I said, I don't want to quit there.
Yes, got to keep going. And so from there,
Ah.
what happened from there?
So then Paul's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well, I have to start school. So I had to push it a little bit farther than I wanted to. So from Chicago Pro, then I waited until San Antonio Pro, which was 2 weeks ago, I think. That was a little hard because it was like 8 weeks. So he kind of gave me a couple of weeks of recovery, and then we kind of fiddled, and then you know, then we did like a mock peak week, and then we dialed it back in, and success again. I was super fortunate with some amazing women up there, and in Chicago, I got brave and went into the 50s, and then same in San Antonio. So I think I went second in the 50s at San Antonio, and then I won the San Antonio Pro in the 55s, and then I was, I think, third in the 50s. So
So
I got
good.
brave.
So good. And the thing is both the Chicago and San Antonio Pro, those are such prestigious shows. And so
Oh,
to take first at both of them, like what winning first at two shows in your pro debut year, like what did that feel like? Have you been able to process those feelings after everything that you've been through over the last year and a half of just like those wins and what that, what that means for you?
a little bit, but I, again, tend to be the one who, like, okay, that goal's over. Now what's next? But honestly, like, Paul's been really good about like, how could you you had like the best season, like it's awesome. You won two pro shows. So I feel very grateful that I have the right people in my corner because I feel like with Paul's coaching and the way that he looks after our health and like how we're feeling and is very intentional about like how we feel and not just how we look. He's the one that's been able to keep me going and keep my physique like look. I mean, granted, I am the one that has to do the work and I have to do the food, but the way he provides it to us and the way he makes sure that it's good makes all the difference in the world, at least for me.
Yeah.
And then the people too, right? Like just knowing that my friends are cheering me on and are proud of me is another big piece of it. But I have a hard time sitting with the win just because I always feel like, okay, what's next? What's next? What are we gonna do next?
I had read something the other day about whether we win or whether we lose. It's like give yourself it, and I don't know why they said 48 hours, but they're like give
Oh.
yourself 48 hours to sit and learn from whatever it is you needed to learn, if it's like a
Mhm.
loss or a failure, or give yourself 48 hours to really celebrate and like revel in that success and then move on. Because if you sit in either of those emotions too much, they can both become problematic. And I never really
Oh
thought
yeah.
about that. And I was like, that's kind of a good point because if you just expect a win, like expect to win
Mhm.
all the time,
Yeah.
you're gonna find yourself, well, maybe not in your case, Sandy, but
No,
for
I
most,
I agree.
but
Like you can't go into any show thinking that you're gonna win. And I definitely didn't feel that way, I always know that it could like fall apart. And when trying to get to San Antonio, I I was like 12 hours in the airport. Like I was supposed to get to San Antonio like 10 o'clock at night. I put my head on the pillow 3:30 Friday morning. I was nervous that my physique was just gonna fall apart, you know? So it's
Yes, I remember we
definitely
were DMing back and forth, and I was like, "It will be okay. It's okay. You
it
got
was
this."
yes, and then like I think it was Thursday morning I woke up and like my weight was really up. And then Friday morning when I woke up, I had dropped like 5 pounds overnight. And then my body went into like hyper burn everything. I'm like, Paul, I think you need to, I'm going to have to eat all day long. But I'd rather that, then
Yeah.
your body's doing what it's supposed to do. But,
Yes.
um, I do. I sit with a win or a loss, definitely. And I do need to give a shout out to our posing coach because Alana gave me a lot of confidence and like just encouragement on becoming better at my posing. So it's still like one of the things that I struggle the most with, but she's definitely been transformative in my thinking about that I can pose versus like I can't do this. So I'm grateful for her too because she's another one that's in my corner.
And posing is huge, right? Because
Ugh.
the first thing the judges see is not even you hitting your front pose, it's you walking
Mm-hmm.
onto the stage to the box. And so having that confidence, that poise, holding yourself in the right way, and the presentation, all of that is massive, and it comes from what we're telling ourselves, right? It's like,
Exactly. Yeah.
I deserve to be here, and
Mm.
exuding that confidence.
Yes, for sure. For
And
sure. And it's not always easy, right? We're half dressed. We're not even half
I
dressed.
was gonna say not even half.
And sometimes those lights and the judges and it's nerve-wracking. And my biggest like flaw in my posing is going too fast. And it's something that I'm really working on. And it's something, Bill told me at San Antonio, his feedback was, I want you to fix your front pose a little bit. Like I didn't twist enough. Like I didn't bring my shoulder around. And then he just said, he's the first one that's told me this year that he wanted to see a little more delt, like going forward. And then he's like, and just keep doing what you're doing with your glutes. Just, put a little more density on him. But so that's our goal this year, is just to put a little more on my upper, like, and lower, but try to really keep it balanced. And my goal is next spring, kind of. That's what Paul and I decided.
You've already got
Mhm.
the next idea
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
block. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do
Yep.
you, and so Bill, you mentioned Bill. So for
Mm-hmm.
people who aren't aware, Bill Sibilia, he
Mm-hmm.
is a really incredible and prestigious head judge. I really like Bill. I haven't been in front of him since, oh my goodness, 2023 Hurricane Pro. That was the last time I've been in front of
Oh,
Bill. So
okay.
that's
Yeah.
fun. He's a great head judge. Really
Yeah,
like him.
and at San Antonio, he was right off stage. Like the minute they started finals, he was right there as you stepped off stage. He gave you your feedback. He was super positive and encouraging, and shook your hand, told you congratulations. Like it was the way they ran that show too was just really nice. And same thing with Chicago. Um, Jack was backstage while they were doing finals. Like and like I told Lana, Jack actually said, the biggest thing that I noticed is that you look like you're having fun up there. And I was like, oh my God, if you only knew. So I thought, well, that was a testament to Lana really helping me feel confident up there. But I love it when the judges are back there and they're just like ready to help you get better, right? Because that's what it's bodybuilding. Like you're never gonna get better if you don't keep building.
Yeah, and it's really cool because, again, being our ages, there's
Hmm.
still so much that we can do. It's not like we end
Right,
here. Like your season, your pro season is ended, but you've already got your next goal. Like, okay,
right.
put on a little bit more density in the glutes, keep things balanced, aiming for the spring next year to get back on the stage and
Mhm.
keep on going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's always fun to have a goal, right? And then
Yeah.
connecting with more people like you and I just kind of hit it off, even though we just kind of started messaging each other. And then it was like, I'll encourage you, you encourage me, and we get to see each other in San Diego this weekend.
No, it's going to be so fun. So Paul's putting on that Command the Stage event, and it's going to be at Brett's Glute Lab
Yeah.
in San
Blue
Diego.
Dog. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be lots of fun. Dinner,
Yeah.
glute things.
Oh, and Lana. See, I've never met Lana in person. I'm so excited to actually like give her a hug,
Yes.
It's funny, so much of this stuff is online, even like with Paul, right? I've only really seen Paul in person like 3 times maybe, I think. But I feel like I see him all the time just because of our check-ins and, everything. So I'm
Yeah.
excited.
And that's another really cool part about bodybuilding in this community is that you can be friends with people anywhere and develop these really great friendships. They don't have to be next door. And in fact, it's like I do talk to my neighbors that are next door, but probably not nearly as much as I like talk to you and my girlfriends that are
Right?
in the industry. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so fulfilling, the friendships and the camaraderie and the like, I'm so inspired. Like, and another thing that really connected me to you was a lot of the exercises that you share on your posts and your stories. It's like, oh my gosh, I want to try that. I want to try that. And and so I've been, oh my
You.
gosh, those glute swipies. I'm like, every time Paul has been in my program, I'm like, not kickbacks. I'm gonna do the swipies today.
Working more the glute med. Yeah, I
Yes.
love I love that stuff. It's so fun. It
Yes.
really is.
So I'm so inspired just by following people's stories and watching what they do, and maybe I can try that. And so it's fun. It's like a journey. We're all on this journey, and it evolves with every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
So going along those lines, it really is a journey. And a lot of women feel like it's too late to start. Too late to start lifting, too late to start building muscle. They're too old. Especially like women our age in their 40s and
Mm-hmm.
50s going through
Mm-hmm.
menopause, menopause. So what would you say to them? Like what are some words of inspiration or what would you say words of wisdom for those ladies?
Well, I would definitely say it's never too late. I mean, I started at 52 and I'm 55, and way better than I'm way better now than I was at 52. I feel like it's so empowering for so many aspects, like your health, your sleep, your relationships, so much of taking care of yourself. And obviously, you don't have to go to this extreme, but just like showing up for yourself, like go for the walk, or go lift some weights, find a friend, go to the gym together. That is so good for like our mental health and our friendships and like longevity, right? Like there's so much research out there that shows if you can, if you can hang for, 60 seconds, if you can carry your, weight, half your, what is it, 75% of your weight for, 10, what is it, 2 minutes or something like that, like you're going to live longer. And I feel like there's so many benefits to doing something for yourself to get healthy that I can't even, there's nothing that could go wrong. I mean, unless you're in the gym and you're not being safe and you're going to hurt yourself. But the other thing that I truly believe is that you have to, like make sure that you have a doctor that's going to do your blood work and look at your hormones. Cause that's one thing that I'm very big on. I unfortunately had to have my thyroid removed last year, and I was really scared, right? How is that going to impact my training and my ability? But because I didn't change anything, my body just kept doing what it was doing. And while I'm always going to have to take medication, it was easy for my doctor to adjust my medication because my body was already in a place of, being super healthy. So go for it. Like, I'll be there to support you if you want help to figure it out. Like, just go for it. Like, you don't wait to start. Don't be afraid to fail, because nobody that is successful in anything didn't do it without failing over and over and over again. Like, fail forward. That's all. That's my thing. Like, fail forward.
Yes.
Fall on the face. You
Yeah,
know.
Sandy is going to be your biggest cheerleader. So if you guys need support, Sandy is your gal. She is so positive, so uplifting, so motivating, and also she's living proof of like just being positive and moving forward even in spite of hard things that happen too.
Hard things.
Yeah.
Hard things. Really hard things.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Like, if there's anyone out there that's listening that's struggling with any of that, like, well, I am no expert. I mean, I do have a school counseling degree, and I've done some, of those type of, like, mental health classes. I'm not an expert, but I've lived it, and sometimes just living it is more helpful than, um, you know, other people who you might not connect with as well. So I'm happy to talk to anybody about, how I powered through, or, how I cried and screamed and yelled. I was stuck in it. I was really stuck in anger, depression. I mean, grief, has all these stages. And I got stuck in anger for a really long time. And let me tell you, that helped in the gym a lot.
Yeah. Being able to release those feelings with
hmm
the bar with the iron.
Yeah. And I'm unfortunately I'm past all that, but the friends and this being healthy and taking care of myself, I think enabled me to overcome a lot of what could have, taken over.
Yeah, I think that movement is medicine. I say that a lot to my clients. I'll say that to my son. He tends to deal with he has like a depression diagnosis among some other things too, and it's like I feel the teenagers these days, I don't know if your students, if they're probably not because they're all really like star students, but the bed rot thing where they just like hang out and just like stare at their phone for hours. And I feel like that just can send people into like a really negative spiral. They're not getting out and moving. And it's like that movement. It's so
Yes,
important. E-
yes,
Even as adults, like
absolutely.
we need that movement. And so I love how your advice of like just get out and go on a walk.
Yeah,
Lift, join a little community of whatever, yoga or something. You don't have to become a bodybuilder
no,
and
yeah.
get on the stage, you know. Just find something.
A friend of mine talked to me yesterday, and she said she's kind of like starting over with a weight loss journey, and she, with tears in her eyes, said, I when I wanted that cookie and when I was like struggling with it, I said to myself, what would Sandy do?
Oh,
And I was like, oh my gosh, like, really? If that's, and she's like, and sometimes you post stuff and I just read it and it just resonates with me. And and I'd shown her a picture of a year ago, like this week, I had had my thyroid out and had a staph infection. I was lucky I didn't die. And I'd showed her a picture of, like, look, remember this last year? And she said, that's going to be me in a year from now. I'm going to show you a picture of me and I'm going to say, remember me. And it's because of you. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and that's, if I can help one person make a decision that helps them feel better, live longer, be happier, then every friggin' hip thrust I've ever done is worth it.
just leading by example even through all the tough things, because I mean we didn't even talk about that, so I want to hit on that a little bit. You had your thyroid removed and then just like a week and a half later, right, you were in the hospital because you had got a staph infection. And this
Yes.
was all like when you had just, was it when you had just started contest prep, was it during prep, or where did that?
No. So that was so I was supposed to get my thyroid out right after Universe. But then
Okay,
when we decided to do North Americans, I pushed it to September. So we were like, so I knew I had time.
got it.
So I had it out, and then, like, yeah, 10 days later, I was at a conference with my friends. I'm like, something's wrong. Like, and I went through this horrific time of doctors saying nothing's wrong and then like being more sick, and I ended up having like a massive staph infection, and they ended up having to cut it back open. Oh, it was
Oh,
horrific. So that put me back a little bit, you know. My doctor wouldn't let me in the gym for a while. She's like, "You have a hole in your neck. Like you're not going to the gym." I'm like, "But I want to go to the gym." Um, so there was like a 3 week period where she's like,
oh,
"No." But that was really in my build, so luckily it didn't impact my prep, but it definitely scared me, like, cuz with thyroid, with your thyroid removal, you can have trouble with weight gain and, having struggling with weight loss. And so I was like, okay, Paul, like this prep might be a little bit tougher because I don't have my thyroid functioning like I used to, even though it wasn't functioning well. I still had it. So I would say I struggled a tiny bit, but I definitely put on a little bit more. Like I gained a little bit more weight than I had previously. So we just decided to do a little bit longer of a prep before this pro debut, just because we knew that it might take a little bit longer. But ultimately, it felt like just any other prep. I think my body was in tune enough to know, like, okay, it's time to drop the body fat. But
yeah.
those last
And
those last few pounds
prove
don't come off until the end.
you just have to stay the course and trust the process and
100%.
yeah, be consistent. But again, it just blows my mind the stuff, the adversity, the situations that you encountered, and the ability to, I wouldn't even say power through, but be able to feel the feelings and
Hmm.
still move forward. Like you worked through those feelings. It's not like they've been repressed, where I think a lot of people kind of just will say like, oh, we'll address that later. It's like, no, you're working through this as you're continuing to pursue your personal goals. You're showing up for your kids at school and your
Yeah.
family and friends as
You
well.
know, they were a huge piece of like me, like when David had passed away, it was right at the end of the school year. Like, it was like graduation and everything that was going on. And I get really close to my seniors because, I have between, it depends on the year, but never over 100. So you get to know them really well. And I was like, nope, I gotta go. Like they need me. Like this is like what they've been looking forward to all year. So it did help having the kids at school that also needed me. But I will be honest, I also sought the help of a mental health counselor. I'm not ashamed to say that there was a period in my grief where I needed some tools to help me handle it. And and I learned a lot, and it took me, finding a couple different people and a couple different types. But I would always encourage somebody who's struggling with whatever it is, mental health wise, to reach out to a professional too, because there is no shame in getting support for mental health. And I wish that was, a more talked about more, especially for men. Like it's okay. Like go get help because you deserve to live a happy and healthy and productive life. And when you get stuck in a depressive state, or even if it's an angry state, like get some help, because there's people out there that can really change your mindset.
Yeah, and they can give you so many tools to process, to communicate things, so
Hmm.
you don't just shove it all
Yeah.
in. I agree. I have a therapist. My son has a therapist,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then doing, like, I think that my son, he did that intensive outpatient behavior
Yeah.
program over the summer, so there was like therapy with that, like, and I've just found so much gratitude
Mhm.
for therapy, because it did feel like years ago there was resistance for me of like, oh, I feel like a failure, or I feel like kind of like something's wrong with me, and
Right.
it's
100%.
not. Like, the more that I talk with people, we're all struggling in some
Hmm.
different, in various ways at different times of our lives, and I think it can
Yeah.
really benefit, like you
It-
said, men too. It's not just women.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So, like, there's no shame in it. There's no fear in it. Sometimes it's hard to, to start out, but I think when you find the right person,
Yeah.
they can be a game changer. I mean, look at how many very successful, very wealthy, famous people work with some very highly intelligent, mental health professionals that help them in all aspects of their life. And it is, it can be life changing to, go from like a really shut down mind to like a growth mindset. Like what you shared about your son is like amazing that he's been able to, overcome some of the behaviors and that you guys are working towards different goals. Like that's transformative, right? Like he will take that with him for the rest of his life. So
Yeah.
kudos to you for like getting involved and taking the lead on that.
Thanks. And
Mhm.
thanks for sharing that it wasn't something like overcoming grief wasn't something that you just tackled on your own. Like you're able to
Mhm.
get help and have that support that you needed, because that's just empowering to hear.
Yes. Yes.
So, let's see, as we got just a little bit more time here. So as we
Okay.
close up, I want to ask you, trying to decide. I have a couple questions. I'm like,
Okay.
where should we go here? Well, I
Okay.
want to know. So we've been talking a lot about being a competitor and competing. Um, we know that your next goal with competing is going to be spring. And so you're
Uh-huh.
working on that. But outside of the stage, so let's talk about life outside of the stage. What's next for you? Do you have
You
any
know,
other pursuits outside of competing that you're working on at this time?
so one of my kind of like brewing in the back of my head is that I
Yes.
want to get certified so that I can really be a coach for people. I really think I want to do like lifestyle coaching. And so, and as I near the idea of retiring from education, I just think that would be just like the most fun like transition into a whole different life for me. Like showing up for other people and helping change people's lives. That's kind of where I'm going.
Ah, that's amazing.
So I
Yeah,
said
how
it out
cool. And
loud. So yeah,
yeah,
go.
I'm like, you're putting it out there. It's out there. So fantastic. There's
Yeah,
so many women in their 50s, 60s, 70s who could benefit from your expertise, your life experience. And again, like not having to get on the stage, like you said, it's
right.
lifestyle, just helping people to become better. And that would be so cool to have you part of that.
So that's where we
Very
need to
cool.
talk about what should be my next steps because I know you have wonderful clients and they seem to like adore you and appreciate you. And so that's kind of like one of the things that I was going to ask you about too this weekend was like share with me like what you did to get where you are today as a coach and I know you do lifestyle and I know you have some competitors too. I don't know that I ever be brave enough to do competitors, but I really do want to help other women because I see so many of them are so scared to start. Like don't be scared to start. um Maybe that could be the name of my business, scared to start.
And there just really is so much misinformation out there that
Uh,
it gets confusing, and people are hearing these terms like cortisol face and menno belly and do you need a walking vest and oh you can't do things fasted, oh yes you can, or like all these really
yeah.
repeating things out there, and it's being able to sort through that and just focus on the basics. And a lot of people have a hard time with that because they're like, oh, this might be the hack, like this might be.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that will be fun.
People,
I'm excited to talk.
yeah. Yeah, I'm super excited. Like, people ask me that all the time. Like, well, what do you do in the gym? I'm like, I do the same thing over and over. I didn't get these shoulders because I did 25 different exercises. I did shoulder presses until I couldn't lift anymore, you know? And that's the piece that like I try to share with people. Like, you can't get bored. You just got to keep showing up. If you show up, things are gonna change.
I love that. Just
Yeah,
keep showing up.
just keep showing up.
And so I think this is a really good place to wrap up this episode. Thank you, Sandy, for taking the time to come on here, share your story of incredible like heartache and overcoming that
Mhm.
and being able to take that um and honor David with everything that you're doing on the stage. You're just a light and such a wonderful
Oh,
person.
thank you,
So grateful to have you as a
thank
friend.
you.
So
Thank you. I feel the same for sure, for sure. And definitely my daughter is another reason why I keep like, you know, keep keeping on too, because when she's a pilot, she don't have to fly me all over the world for free. So I want to spend a lot of time flying in airplanes with my kiddo soon.
yes, that will be so fun.
Yes.
So much
Well,
fun.
thank you so
All
much.
right.
And I adore you and I appreciate your message that you share too. I know you spend a lot of time sharing your workouts and training ideas and just a lot about like women's health. So I'm definitely inspired and amazed at everything you do and I appreciate you 100%.
Thank you, Sandy. And thank you like so much.
Mhm.
Oh, so sweet. So before we sign off, where can people find you? What's your Instagram handle so they can start following you and be inspired by the things you have to share?
So it's Sandy Taylor RV, and it looks like Arave, IFBB Pro on Instagram, and then I'm just Sandy Taylor RV on Facebook too. Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram, and I'm going to
Mm.
put that on here so people will see.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, because RV looks like a rave or like maybe a
Yeah.
rave or like something.
I get that all the time. I'm usually Arave. Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah. Most people say it Arave or they say Arave, and I answer to anything now. I joke with my daughter all the time. Like we spend half of our life telling people how to say our name. We just
RV.
answer RV, just like an RV, but yeah, it's spelled Arave, Arave. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yep. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks to everybody for listening. If you enjoyed
Yes.
this episode, please like, add
Like
some
it.
comments in the comments section if you got questions for Sandy, and subscribe to my channel. All right,
Yes.
we'll
Yes.
talk
All
later.
right. I'll see you this weekend.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.